The old man who wants to get his retirement benefits is fired. We don't need noisy nuisances like you around.
It seems that William, our new president, didn't appreciate my way of handling work and sarcastically told me to leave. I'm not staying in this company just for the retirement pay. But to William, who just became the president, someone like me who knows the company better and is respected by the employees must have been an annoyance. It was clear what would happen to the factory if I left. Still, if he insists I leave, then I will resign. Understood, I'll leave everything to you. I have deep feelings for this company where I've worked so long, but I can no longer work under such an arrogant president like him. Since I'm retiring in 6 months anyway, leaving now makes no difference. Though the employees tried to stop me, I resigned. After this, William will surely experience hell in this factory. He will learn the hard way that managing the factory is no easy task. I am Daniel, 64 years old. I work at Cloud's Machine Manufacturing, assembling machinery. At this age, I have never been in management and am still a rank-and-file employee. That's because I know taking on a management role in the factory means facing a lot of responsibilities and difficulties. Without overtime pay, there's a lot to do, including dealing with troubles, checking documents for audits, leading junior employees, and so on. Also, I love product development, so I declined offers for promotion and continued working in development. After many years, our respected president, Henry, decided to retire. He was the president of Cloud's Machine Manufacturing. President Henry was a respected figure who provided guidance on work matters and facilitated the operations in sales and manufacturing. As he turned 70, he finally retired. Being one of his longtime associates, I had a drink with Henry at a bar for the last time.
Are you really okay with this? The terms would be much better from now on.
It's fine, I'm better suited for development.
I see. It's regrettable, but I respect your decision. You've been excellent in development. Keep supporting our company.
With that as our final goodbye, Henry retired. The office was filled with a somber atmosphere on his last days since everyone adored Henry.
It's sad to think of the company without him.
I wonder how we'll manage.
After Henry left, the mood in the office was gloomy. However, the employees couldn't stay down for long. They decided to support the company that he had always backed. Thus, everyone regained their spirit and started working again, but their resolve would soon be challenged in an unexpected way. The new president turned out to be terribly arrogant.
From today, I am the president of Cloud's Machine Manufacturing. You all better work hard to contribute to this factory.
William made this speech. The son of Henry introduced himself, now apparently 41 years old. From his first words, it was clear he was only interested in immediate profits, without considering the employees' circumstances. Thinking about what would happen under his presidency, we all grimaced.
Is it really okay to leave it to someone like him?
Jack, from the manufacturing department, asked me. He is 55 years old, and we are relatively close in age, so we get along well. I wonder. Well, we just have to do our best. This was the first time William visited this company. He might have worked in a similar industry before, but he likely knew little about how things worked at Cloud's Machine Manufacturing. So, rather than relying entirely on him, it seemed better for us to support him in running the company. I knew enough about how the factory operated to manage things. That day, as the eldest in the factory, I went to the manufacturing department first and gave directions to the employees. For now, here's what we're manufacturing today. Please get to your stations and carry on with your work. take breaks as usual. Although I'm in development, I make sure to regularly interact with the sales and manufacturing staff. Therefore, I fully understand the manufacturing department's work and am trusted by them. Upon receiving my instructions, the employees nodded and moved to their respective stations. As I watched him leave, I was about to head to the sales department, but then William, the president, showed up.
Hey you, getting a bit too cocky, aren't you? Who gave you the permission to issue orders?
Caught off guard by his hostile tone, I was taken aback. That's not.
Don't go issuing orders behind my back. This is my factory. Someone who isn't even in management should know their place.
Yes, I'm sorry. Indeed, William is the top dog in this factory now. So, I regretted not checking with him first before issuing instructions to the departments. However, consulting him after the speech with such disdain was tough. Then, William, I'd like to discuss today's strategy, if I may.
That's okay. I'll give the orders. No need for an old-timer like you to do anything.
Okay, got it. Please proceed. William then headed towards the sales department. I wondered if he could really give instructions, being so new to the factory, but if he says so, I have no right to interject. I might have been too eager just after the president change, but after all, I am just a rank-and-file employee. For now, I decided to focus on what I should do and went back to the development department. But things weren't going to be that easy. While I was focusing on development, William had been issuing some outrageous orders to manufacturing and sales.
What's this order? Producing 500 units right now is impossible.
No breaks. We are not machines.
There's no way we can meet such sales targets.
We never had to do overtime before, but recently we've been staying late all the time. Why?
At first, everyone tried to diligently follow William's orders, but the unreasonable demands and continuous overtime began to wear them down. And soon, grievances started to surface from the exhausted employees. Moreover, there was a growing conflict between the sales and manufacturing departments, each trying to protect their own interests. And then, in the midst of these disputes, an employee made a shocking statement.
It would be 100 times easier if Daniel were giving the orders.
Hearing this, William flew into a rage.
What's so good about that old-timer? I'm the president now. You all should just follow my lead.
Intervening in such a situation would likely just add fuel to the fire. However, if I left William's conflict with the employees unchecked, the factory might fall apart. Unable to stand by any longer, I stepped into the fray. Excuse me, William.
What, Daniel? I'm busy, so make it quick.
Well, would you like to discuss together about how we can run the factory moving forward? It's understandable that he doesn't know how to give instructions or run the factory right after joining. Perhaps it's just his pride as the president's son that keeps him from asking for help. Then, I thought I could help him now.
No way. I'd rather not rely on an old-timer like you. You're just clinging to this company for the retirement benefits, right?
But faced with such a wildly incorrect accusation, I was astounded. Retirement benefits. I'm not staying at this company just for the money. I want to continue developing and contributing.
I hate it when people spout such idealistic nonsense. We're talking business here. We need to produce more products to make a profit, get it?
Trying to extend my helping hand only to be rebuffed in such a dismissive manner left me speechless. The factory is clearly on the brink of collapse, and it seems nearly impossible for William to regain the employees' trust on his own. Yet, He seriously believes he can single-handedly fix the current situation? At a loss for words, William told me,
An old-timer like you aiming for retirement benefits is fired. The company would profit more without an old man like you. We don't need noisy nuisances. Please leave right now.
Despite my intention to help, his terrible attitude made me lose the will to even try. Moreover, staying and contributing to this company under his leadership started to seem absurd. I knew what would happen to the factory without me, but that's exactly why I said it. Are you sure you want me to quit?
Yeah, sure. Please leave. We don't need you in this company.
The employees watched our argument with William nervously. But hearing William repeatedly return my kindness with hostility made me sick of working in such a place. Many people retire at age 60, but I'm just continuing to work on my own wish. So, quitting now is no problem at all. Understood. I'll leave everything in your hands then.
Yeah, get out. Just leave the resignation letter on my desk.
Though some employees tried to stop me, I decided to go ahead and resign. After writing my resignation letter and leaving it on William's desk, I left the company. Things turned out just as William wanted, but he's likely to face hell in the factory now. Managing a factory isn't easy. He'll realize that soon enough. The next day, enjoying the relief of being freed from work, I was sleeping peacefully at home. My wife was out since the morning, probably enjoying a chat with her friends. Even if I lazed around until noon, she wouldn't scold me. But my peaceful sleep was shattered by the ringing of my smartphone. Checking the screen, eyesight was from Cloud's Machine Manufacturing. Thinking it might be urgent, I answered the call. Hello, this is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
I recognized the voice as William's. Wishing I hadn't answered, I responded, "What's up, William?"
The conveyor belt isn't working, and the whole line is stopped. It's too spiteful of you to sabotage like this.
Accused of something I had no part in, I furrowed my brow. What do you mean, the whole line stopped?
Yo, you did that, didn't you?
I didn't tamper with the conveyor. In fact, I left midday yesterday after resigning, and everything was still running then. There was no chance for me to rig anything.
That is right.
William faltered when I pointed out the inconsistency. He was trying to pin the blame for the machine breakdown on me, probably because he thought I held a grudge. Some machines in the factory are old and can be finicky. I can't help if you blame me for that. I knew some machines were prone to errors because I had worked there for a long time. And I also knew how to handle them. But William, new to the factory, wouldn't know these troubleshooting methods. Probably at his wit's end because he couldn't fix the machines, he called me.
How can we even work properly with such old machines?
Even if you say that to me, if you say our equipment is old, why don't you invest in it yourself?
Damn it.
He complained about the old equipment, yet he didn't seem to want to spend money on new machinery. All talk, no action, that's the kind of president he was. Though I knew replacing manufacturing machines would cost an eye-watering amount. That's why we kept using the old ones with care.
Anyway, tell me how to fix this.
There's a trick to it.
That's what I'm saying. Don't beat around the bush and just tell me the trick. We're going to be out of business.
I'm not obligated to teach you that anymore. I resigned yesterday, remember? As I played hard to get, William fumed on the other end of the line. He was the one who kicked me out. So, I have no obligation to be nice to him.
Then come to the factory now. We're incurring huge losses every moment. Can you take responsibility for that?
That's why I resigned yesterday, and I was just a regular employee, so why should I have to go to the company? Weren't you the one who said I was unnecessary and a hindrance? So, calling me back to the company, does that mean you're ready to apologize for treating me as a nuisance?
What? Getting cocky, aren't you?
So, you're not planning to apologize. In that case, I have no intention of returning, so please handle it yourself. Goodbye? I heard William trying to keep me on the line, but I hung up anyway. A few days later, I was at a bar, invited by Jack. Apparently, the machines have not been working since the day William called, and all the employees are on paid leave. For the employees' discontent with William, the situation couldn't be more amusing.
Did you hear the conveyor stopped working?
Yay, I heard. William called me in a panic. Jack, already tipsy, said with a laugh.
William was pressing all sorts of buttons in a frenzy, but nothing worked. He couldn't figure out the control panel either. In his irritation, he kicked another machine, and now that's broken too, causing a huge uproar.
That's quite a story.
Jay, you could have fixed it right away.
Having worked at Cloud's machine for so many years, I was not only familiar with the products we manufactured, but also with operating the machinery. Whenever there was a machine trouble, I was usually the one called upon. It's true, most of the time, just restarting the conveyor would fix it, but someone with no experience in the factory wouldn't know that. Moreover, I had a broad knowledge of the products we made and our clients. Both sales and manufacturing departments often relied on me for help. The heads of each department would come to me for advice whenever they needed it.
Now, with the factory halted, we can't make deliveries, and our clients are furious. I don't know how they're managing it, but if this continues, we'll have to pay penalties to several clients.
That would be a nightmare. Penalties to multiple clients.
Not just that, if the machinery is really broken, there will be repair costs too.
Right. You said he broke a machine by kicking it. Kicking a machine out of frustration is just pathetic. But since he'll have to pay for the repairs, it's his own fault.
With the transaction stalled, administrative work has exploded, and the president seems to be in over his head. The day I was sent home on leave, he was wrestling with a mountain of paperwork. Probably hasn't slept in days.
That's tough, but it's a case of reaping what you sow.
Exactly. The real mistake was driving Daniel out. No one knows the ins and outs like you. Now, if a machine breaks down, who are they going to ask?
Jack sighed. I teased him a bit. Aren't you one of the seniors now?
Yeah, but I can't manage everything like you. I'm content with my routine of assembling quietly and having a beer after work.
But I'm not there anymore.
Come on, don't say that. Please come back.
He pleaded, but I just gave a wry smile. I tried to help William multiple times, but he repaid me with hostility. I couldn't bear working under such a person any longer.
William keeps saying, "Why won't you listen to me? If he were a good person, I would listen." But William knows nothing about the factory and keeps imposing unreasonable demands on us. How can anyone follow such an irrational boss?
Exactly. If only he valued the ground reality like the previous president.
Those were good times under President Henry. I wish he could return, but he's 70 now, probably hitting the limit.
Jack sighed again. I've heard that the average retirement age for a president is 68. Considering that, Henry's dedication to the factory until 70 is nothing short of remarkable. Thinking of Henry, I asked Jack, what will happen to the factory if things stay this way?
If it doesn't start running, we may go bankrupt, right? But I hate to lose our jobs. I hope it recovers somehow. But with the factory in such a bad state, maybe Henry will step in, right?
William and Henry are father and son, so it's natural for them to be aware of the situation. However, given William's personality, it seems more likely that he hasn't shared anything. So, Henry might be completely unaware of the current state of Cloud's machine. Here, it looks like the factory might really go under. I'm not fond of William, but it'd be sad to see the factory gone.
I've heard about companies falling into chaos with a change in presidency, but never thought I'd experience it firsthand. Wonder if there are any places that hire in their 50s. I should start looking.
You might find something if you're not picky about the salary.
Don't hit me with that harsh reality.
Jack held his head in his hands. It might be manageable in your 40s, but in your 50s, it seems there's little room to be choosy about salary and benefits.
Well, let's not worry about that now. Let's drink tonight, Daniel.
Saying so, he poured some drinks. He might not be the best at his job, but his amiable nature is endearing. Thanks. I continued drinking and having a good time with Jack for about an hour. A few days later, I got a call from Jack. There was a clash between the employees and William, creating a tough situation.
I really hate to bother you with this, but there's no one else we can rely on but you, Daniel.
I had no intention of ever returning to work, but hearing this left me with no choice. I have nothing but bad memories of William, but the employees have always been good to me. And I have a deep connection with Cloud's machine after working there for so many years. If the employees are in trouble, I can't just ignore them. With that thought, I drove to Cloud's machine manufacturing. When I arrived, I found William and about 10 employees in a heated standoff in the factory. Jack, now the eldest among them, seemed to be arguing with William.
It must have been you guys who broke the machines, right? You did it on purpose to frame me. I'll charge all the damages incurred during the downtime to you.
William was trying to pin an unfounded blame on the employees. But it's ludicrous to think that employees would break the machines out of spite. If you intentionally break a machine, you will not be able to work, and if someone gets evidence of that, you will have to pay compensation to all parties, including your own company and your clients. Does he really think his employees would break a machine if they took such a risk?
What are you talking about? We haven't done anything to the machines. This company has been around for years, so naturally, many of our machines are old. It's just normal wear and tear. Blaming the employees for machine failures doesn't seem like something the president would do.
Keep talking. You guys have wronged me.
Jack desperately tried to argue their innocence, but William wasn't listening.
In the past few days, dealing with machine repairs and client communications, I've been put through hell. I barely slept last night. I heard employees in manufacturing can be difficult, but to go this far just because you hate the boss.
It's absurd to stereotype employees based on the factory work. This place has many dedicated workers who feel indebted to the former president and work hard for the company. Have you, as the president, ever tried to understand and support the hard-working employees even once?
Yay, that's right.
Jack and the others were vehemently defending themselves. They too have worked at this company for a long time. They care about the company and don't want it ruined by William's whims.
I'm the president now. It's only natural for me to give orders, yet you all do nothing but complain and resist. How can you call yourselves dedicated?
I don't want to hear that from you. It's okay to be new and not know the ins and outs, but you refuse to learn and instead push all your ignorance onto the employees. We cannot follow someone who acts so unfairly.
While admiring Jack's strong words, I stepped into the conflict. William?
Daniel.
Jack's eyes widened as he saw me. William sneered upon seeing me.
What does a retiree like you want? Showing up here? You don't belong here anymore.
I came because I heard about the conflict between you and the employees. What's going on here?
It's their fault the machines broke down, but they deny it. It doesn't make sense. How could the machines suddenly stop working right after I became the president?
He complained, but the answer to that was simple. I decided to enlighten the ignorant William. You've probably heard this multiple times from the employees, but many machines here have been used for a long time. Of course, they can suddenly stop working. Until now, we've dealt with that by maintaining and carefully using them.
What? Acting all high and mighty? Huh?
William gritted his teeth and glared at me.
You must have found it troublesome when they stopped suddenly, right? So, you must have intentionally damaged the machines under the guise of wear and tear, I'm sure of it.
We knew these machines could be restarted and made to work again. Why would we need to break something that we know can work? Besides, many employees find these older, familiar machines easier to use than new ones.
You say that, but you probably broke them out of spite when you left, just claiming it was wear and tear. What a petty way to get back for being forced to retire. All because of your incompetence.
Frustration welled up in me at William's relentless distortions. If he doesn't understand how the factory works, he should learn instead of blaming others for his ignorance. It seemed like nothing I said would make him understand. You really are beyond help. That's why the employees won't follow you. You call them incompetent and unserious, but perhaps it's time you realize you're the most incompetent here.
What did you say?
Maybe I hit a nerve. As William advanced towards me angrily. As we stood close, exchanging sharp glances, the tension in the air peaked.
Enough.
Henry.
Jack was startled by the unexpected voice. The other employees were also wide-eyed in surprise. Entering the factory was Henry. It must have been unexpected for him to show up. Henry, you came.
I had to come when I learned about this situation. My son seems to have caused quite a mess.
Henry and I were close enough to drink together, so we knew each other's contact details. I reached out to him, unable to stand the situation, and he was clearly shocked by my call. Henry approached William with long strides.
William, I gave you the presidency because you always wanted it, but what is this mess?
William flinched at his words, but quickly started making excuses.
But Dad, they won't listen to my orders. I'm the president. They should follow my commands.
If your commands aren't reasonable, it's only natural they won't listen. They are not mute puppets. Pressuring them to work under dissatisfaction leads to situations like this.
Unable to argue back, William seethed in silence.
And to top it off, you forced Daniel to retire. He has contributed to this company since joining. No one knows this company better or is more respected by the employees than him. It was inevitable that this would happen after you made him leave.
Henry glared sharply at William.
I thought of entrusting the presidency to you because you've always wanted it, but all you did was mess everything up. You're fired. If you want to be president again, reflect on your actions and learn proper management.
Why, Dad? Why would you say that? I'm the son of the president. This company is mine.
Be quiet.
When Henry rebuked him, William collapsed on the spot and said nothing. Henry then turned to me.
Daniel, I'm asking again, would you consider becoming the president of this company?
Hearing Henry's words, the employees, who knew I had always worked as a regular employee, were stunned. But I was not surprised. Henry had repeatedly approached me to become the next president. I had declined, wanting to focus on development, even when his retirement was decided.
I always wanted you to be the next president. Seeing the current state, it seems you're the only one who can manage this factory. Of course, all the debts incurred will be charged to William, and you can take over as before. So, please consider it.
That's outrageous. I'm just in development. I can't lead the employees.
But no one else knows this factory like you do. Isn't that clear now? I can look for another president, but I doubt I'll find anyone better than you.
All eyes were on me. Their silent plea evident. They were tired of having a president who knew nothing about the factory.
Can I really ask this of you?
Hearing Henry's words and feeling the employees' anticipation, I pondered and then made my decision. All right, I'll give it a try. I wasn't sure if I could act as a president. However, this incident made me feel that it's better for me to take charge rather than leaving it to some stranger. Besides, I have a deep attachment to Cloud's machine manufacturing. I may have hastily answered that I would retire, but if I can still work here, it would be an honor. Hearing my decision, the employees were overjoyed.
Great. We can rest easy with Daniel in charge.
Now we can finally work in peace.
How could that old man take my plant away from me?
William seemed to have always wanted this factory, but now no one supported him. Caught up in immediate profits and treating employees like mere pawns, he reaped what he sowed. I saw Henry leading him away, probably to discuss the debts he must pay. Afterward, William talked with Henry and apparently had to pay the penalties for undelivered contracts and the repair costs for the broken machines. Of course, Henry does not help with any of these compensations, so William has to take on debt to pay them off. Additionally, it seems William apologized to the clients he had troubled, and for now, Cloud's machine has returned to its previous state of business dealings. It seems William, who rarely held a job for long, is now working as a delivery person from morning till night to pay off his debts. Hopefully, this will teach him the value of hard work. Then, I promptly checked the conveyor belt that was reported as malfunctioning. It was the usual error, and a simple reboot got it working again. Thus, the factory resumed its normal operations. We returned to days without overtime, and the employees seemed relieved. Unexpectedly, I became the president of Cloud's machine manufacturing. I braced myself for what I needed to do, but in reality, my work didn't change much from before. I continued to monitor the employees, adjust machines when needed, mediate between the sales and manufacturing departments, and even involve myself in development. The main change was the increase in administrative tasks, but this too was a good experience. I had been deeply engrossed in development work, so I was a bit sad to leave it behind. However, I was glad to be back at the company in this capacity. Age might be catching up with me, but my passion for development and the factory remains. I intend to do my best as the new president to meet the employees' expectations,